Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. Today I'll be reviewing Cruella. So Cruella is the newest live action film that will be premiering both on Disney Plus and in theaters later this week. And this isn't a live action remake of a Disney classic, more of a retelling of how Cruella became who she was, how Cruella de Vil grew to be this iconic villain. And this film is directed by Craig Gillespie, who also did I, Tonya, and you can really feel that influence in this movie. I think it was a great pick to direct this film because you got a performance out of Emma Stone that is almost very reminiscent of what you got from Margot Robbie in that film. And it's so good. I think she really shines in this movie, especially in the second and third act. She really embodies this character. I will say right off the bat, I didn't absolutely love the first act. I think it was a little bit slow getting things going, but once you really had her into full bore of being this iconic villain, she really slayed it, in my opinion. So in this movie, you see Cruella as a young girl who's actually named Estella, and how her life kind of got thrown into flux because of things happening with her family. She becomes kind of a drifter in her life, and then she's just really after being a fashion icon. That's what she wants to do. She really aspires to these other people that are big in the industry, but she keeps getting beaten down over and over again, and she has this almost split personality that's called Cruella, the iconic villain that we know and love. And you get to see that really come full blossom with the events in the film. And one of the things that's so good about Emma Stone's performance, in my opinion, is that shift back and forth between these two characters. From someone who's a little more mild-mannered, maybe not the most mild-mannered person in the world to begin with, but then seeing Cruella, the real villainess. And one of the things that I had to get past in the first act is the British accent that she has. It was just weird for me, honestly, right off the bat hearing Emma Stone with that accent, but it grew on me. I also think the soundtrack to the movie worked really well. It uses a lot of iconic 70s and 60s music around where the movie's taking place. They kind of use some modern remixes too. I think it works well with some of the scenes, really helps add the impact and the high fashion and all the things that are going into the movie. And speaking of fashion, the movie has really good costuming. I think it's one of the big bright spots in the film. When you're seeing all the designer fashion, especially from the House of Baroness, which you'll find out later in the movie is kind of the main villain of the movie. So the Baroness, played by Emma Thompson, is the antagonist of the movie to Cruella, even though Cruella gets to hold being a villain pretty well. I did like that. The way that they're writing the movie, Cruella never becomes this super sympathetic character. She does have some moments where you're obviously rooting for her against the Baroness because the Baroness is so horrible, which is really a testament to Emma Thompson because she's just so unlikable. It's really good that she's able to play this just horrible person, so you're even rooting for the villain in most parts of the film. She still gets to keep that villain edge. Cruella never becomes this kind of pitiful hero or anything like that. She always does kind of stay the badass villain, and I did like that part of it. Paul Walter Hauser and Joel Fry both did a really solid job of being kind of the comedic elements of it, playing Horace and Jasper, especially them with their little dogs and the little antics that they get in throughout the movie. Like I said, this isn't a true-to-life remake of the 101 Dalmatians. It's a prequel, so it is interesting seeing those characters before they become kind of the henchmen that they are now and how that build-up was. I do think there's some comedic moments, especially with those two, and I think their timing works really well. The story itself does have a lot of twists and turns. I did appreciate that. I was kind of worried, like I said, in the first act, it was going to be a little slow, it was going to be a little boring. We're just kind of getting this kind of generic story of someone coming up and trying to make it in the fashion world. But we did get a lot of twists and turns along the way, and I did enjoy that. I never knew what was going to happen, especially between the second and third act. And there is a big twist. I'm not going to give away any spoilers in this review. There's a big twist at the end, which I think works well with the character and understanding what she's going through. So if I were to rate this movie, I would actually give it an 8 out of 10. It was actually a lot better than I expected it to be. I always kind of thought that Emma Stone was going to be solid in the role. She's a really good actress, and with this director kind of working with her, I was hoping to get another, Margot Robbie, I, Tonya performance, and I think we got that for the most part. Obviously a little toned down, but I think the costuming, the story itself, and the performances of everyone involved, I think made a really good flick. So are you excited for Cruella? Or if you have seen Cruella, let me know what you think about it. I'm interested to see what people think. Because it could be a movie that's a little divisive because it isn't your traditional Disney film and have a twist on a classic, but not really. So it feels like it's going to be one of the different movies in Disney's canon when it comes to these live action films. So I'm interested to see what people think. So again, thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And again, let me know if you're excited. Let me know what you're thinking of it. And leave those comments down below.